Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Spotter. Yes, it's 2026. It's March. I think it's March. Yeah, and we're back. It's been it's been a while. I'm kind of back now to basically explain where I've been, what I've been up to, and kickstart the year. Although we're in March, kind of kickstart the year 3 months into it. We're getting these back on track really, and I'll be honest with you. I haven't been in the headspace to do these, and I'll delve into that maybe a little bit into this one, and probably in a future episode as well. But um, long story short, I'm feeling better. I feel ready to keep talking and be that person that I said I wanted to be for other people within reason. Like, there's only so much I can do on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like these episodes, these snippets of my life, these chunks of me talking. Sometimes I wonder like what I've done so far. I hope it's managed to actually help people. But yeah, like I said from the start, if it helps one person, then that's mission accomplished. But also, this is an outlet for me as well, and I think in doing this, we encourage other people to talk, to speak up about what they're struggling with. And I've realised that I did a lot of good personal work throughout 2025. It was a good year for me and the podcast as well. Got a lot of good conversations out, a lot of good guests on, um, and actually learned a lot about myself as well. But then when we hit the new year, I got extremely busy. Things came up, and then end of February, going into, I guess, and to be honest with you, I started getting into that mindset of right. I want to hit the ground running with, because I did like the end of year one with Mum and Abs a little bit, and it was like a special episode, like finishing the year off. I kind of thought to myself, oh, I want to sort of like I guess capitalize on that, do some more with like guests and plan that in. And I started speaking to people, and then I realized I just kept putting it off, and I was like, what's going on here, really? Um, and then the year started off so busy this year, and we got to end of Feb, heading into March, and I realised I still hadn't done it, and I started to question, like, why haven't I put my, the first episode out yet? Why haven't I started these conversations again and started speaking about where I'm at in life, what I'm planning to do, getting people on and talking about business, life, coaching, mental health, everything like that. And and I had these conversations with people, and then I realised I just haven't done it yet, and it just dawned on me, and I was like, I'm obviously not ready to do it. And then suddenly, if I'm being honest, recently I have become extremely overwhelmed with, and this delves back into like my past and things that I think I need to figure out my end, but I just haven't been in the best place mentally for maybe the last month, 2 months, like where it's come to light. Um, and it's been down to some personal issues, myself not dealing with things that I probably should have dealt with in the past, or I should have at least put some time into. And I just felt like, right, I'm not doing myself not even the justice, but I wouldn't be doing right by myself getting on the mic. And yeah, granted, maybe it is me, it would be me like talking, truthfully and openly, and it would help people. Yeah, but I was like, I'm not in the right headspace to do this, and I don't want to be that person for other people if I'm not ready to do that. If that makes sense, like if I'm not ready to do it and I haven't sorted out what's going on internally in my head, then I shouldn't put a face on and pretend. And then it also dawned on me that I feel like I've been doing a lot of that for most of my life. And it sent me into a bit of a spiral recently where I had a bit of an emotional breakdown. I questioned a lot. I spoke to some of the closest people around me, and I had a really big wobble, and I have taken some action. I have put some things in place that I'm going to be committing to, and I will delve into that as they manifest. And you'll understand, everyone listening, hopefully that will be an opportunity for me to talk about what I learned about myself. But basically, long story short, I have sought out the help of a therapist, and I think it would be good for me. I think there are things from my past, my childhood, my upbringing that I haven't dealt with, that I've just put to bed, and I thought I had dealt with them. I thought that I'd had counselling in the past. I thought that I had really turned over a new page, turned over a new leaf. And then yeah, it just dawned on me that I haven't, and I feel like I've been putting a mask on for the last, well, at least 3 to 4 years. And I always joked to Abby and said, I feel like I'd be a good actor. And she would say, "Why is that?" And I'm like, "Well, because I feel like I've been doing a bit of that all my life, to be honest with you. Like, I think people see me as this person that's always happy." And I've delved into this in the podcast before, but I think people see me as this individual that is always happy, jolly, confident, maybe overly confident individual that is always there for other people. And the issue is, a lot of that is me putting on that persona um, as a way of coping, I think. And I'm sure it will all come to light as I go on my therapy journey and figure out my head and what I've been doing all this time, and try and get some answers to some things and why I am the way I am. But I think, yeah, long story short, that you should never feel, I guess, a lesser person for admitting you need help and admitting that you need to do some, I guess, searching for answers. And yeah, that's where I'm at the minute. And that's why I think I put off coming back on, starting this series again, and being that person for other people, because I'm like, I need someone for me at the minute. I need to speak to someone. I need to get help myself. But I want to take you on that journey with me. I want to make sure I'm being open and honest now. I'm in a much better headspace now. I'm ready to not tackle this year, but tackle the podcast, get some subjects out there, get some great people on, and carry on basically, pushing the spotter mantra, which is, helping others in life, in whatever way, spotting people outside and inside of the gym, spotting people outside of the gym floor, not just when it comes to weights, spotting that mental burden that people are going through, spotting through conversations, being someone to listen, being someone to allow someone to vent to, being someone to provide guidance. Spotting is not just, for me anyway, spotting is not just physically helping someone, through a last rep. It's like helping them through those last reps in life. And that can be in so many different forms. And, I need some spotting myself. Like that's it. The spotter needs to be spotted. And yeah, so that's where I've been at. And that's why it's taken me a while to really start these up again. And I'm hoping that this year is going to be a really, really good year of basically self-realization, self-learning, and a bit more of a selfish year as well for me. So I think I owe it basically to you all listening, and, further to what I've just said, a lot of this like emotional breakdown came down to me, realizing that I haven't put enough time and energy into myself. And, anyone close to me might say, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. You're always in the gym." And this is it, surface level, isn't it? People might see that, well, you go and train, you go and walk, you go out with your partner, all this, you always do things for yourself. It's like, no, that's just surface level. It's like, I pour so much energy into other people all the time. I'll get into this in a minute, but obviously I've started coaching as well. So I feel obviously that like responsibility as well for my clients as well. And for good reason. I want to be someone that is always there for my clients, because they are paying me. They're paying for a service. They're not paying for a friend. They're paying for a service. They're paying for something, an outcome-based service. And obviously it's not just that. There is more to it. Like, trust me, even, I've started coaching now since behind the scenes. Well, technically 2024, but behind the scenes a bit more since September last year, September last year, and then fully announced it in February. And I think that added a bit of pressure on me without me realizing it, because I was like, okay, people are actually paying me now for something where I've kind of like given advice, help and guidance to people free of charge for a long time, not in just like here's a plan, but more in the sense of like, I'm more than happy to talk to people about training, nutritional advice and guidance, and go into detail about my experiences and what I think could help people. But the minute a service comes into it, it starts putting pressure on you. And that sort of sat with me for a bit. And then I realized that there's, obviously my mum, bless her, she without, wanting to, she relies on me a lot. And I feel a lot of responsibility for my mum. And it worries me about moving out, about where that responsibility, where is that care going to come from? Because ultimately, no carer or no care package, no situation is going to be able to, I guess, imitate what I do and what I have with my mum, and that worries me. I think that I pour a lot into my friends, I pour a lot into my family. Obviously, my relationship, that's a given, and obviously I get that back as well. Fair play. My partner's amazing, and I will fully always shout out, people, where it's deserved, like in that sense. And I'm not saying that it's, she should be, but like, we are a team, and I feel very well supported. I feel very well encouraged in life to go and get after what, basically go get after anything. I could turn around to Abby and say, I want to become a pilot. It wouldn't be a very good one. Or I wanted to, I don't know, fucking anything. I'm going to go and try and be a chef or anything like that. She'd be like, yeah, go for it. Like, she wouldn't ever be someone to say, what are you thinking? Like, she is the most supportive individual that a man could ever ask for, honestly. And I count my blessings all the time. And she means the world to me. But in terms of my energy output in general, I've always been a rock and a support for other people. I've always given to other people before myself. I've always poured into 10 cups rather than my own, realizing before it's too late that I'm empty. And I think emotionally this year, I've started the year off and it's hit me how drained I am and how little I've actually put into myself in the long term, in the grand scheme of things. Like, and again, surface level people will feel like, no, surely you haven't. It's like, no, it's there's more to it. And it's not just, it's about understanding like boundaries as well, like setting boundaries about when it's my time to train, my time to be with my partner, my time to go away, my time to be on my own and learn. Like, I have been really poor with myself. And I admit this is with setting boundaries, because they've been very weak boundaries. And I've relied a lot on my best friends to basically call out my bullshit. And it is working. I'm getting better at it now, but it's taken me a long time to realize that. Poor with boundaries, poor with, limits. And I owe it to myself to start really introducing them and sticking by them. And that's a goal of mine now. Understanding what the boundaries are, what I need to set in order to allow me to get to where I want to be. And again, some people won't understand that, and that's absolutely fine. I have set myself big goals, like, just for example, and I'll probably talk about this in another episode about the whole New Year's resolution thing, and how so many people just basically give up on their goals because realistically we don't set realistic goals. We're so set on, we must set like 20 things that to be done by the end of the year, but really just be honest with yourself. Maybe you just need to make a slight change to make your life 10 times better, and you're aware of it, but you just don't put the boundaries in place to stick to those limits, or to stick to that path. And I haven't done that for a long time. And me and Abs went through a process of doing like the whole, I said, all right, let's sit down in the new year or New Year's, I think it was on New Year's Eve, sorry. And I said, let's write 10 things down that we want to achieve by the end of the year. And we did it. We just wrote down whatever came to mind. And some of it I am now looking at again, thinking, oh, you've put that down, I think, as a filler. And I actually think that some of it I've done to try and distract myself from doing the hard stuff, like putting time into myself to learn about myself, which is therapy. And I think that therapy will allow me to talk to somebody unbiased. And I think it will allow me to basically put the time and effort into myself to get the answers I need. That's the biggest thing I should be focusing on now, is learning more about myself and learning how I can basically allow myself the room to grow. And I need to overcome some demons, conversations that perhaps I've been avoiding, and do some soul searching, I think, to figure out a few things. I have also realized that and again, this might come to light through my therapy journey, that I tend to avoid conflict, tend to avoid hard conversations. So I've actively been trying to be a bit more, I guess, kind of unforgiving, not in the way like that, but more like doing things without worrying about others' opinions, doing what I want to do first and foremost, and not caring about, who might see that or who might have an opinion on that. So yeah, in that form. So I started doing that a bit more now, which I think's helped me. I've started being a bit more focused on myself and my journey rather than others first. So I'm starting to put myself first. And I am also fully aware that I am a people pleaser at heart. And whilst that isn't a bad thing, I think it can be when you don't know how to say no. And that has been me. And Abby's been aware of it. Some of my best friends have been aware of it as well. And, bless them, have tried to encourage me to do things to basically protect my energy. And I just haven't done it. And it's caused me to have this emotional and mental burnout, and has now meant that I needed to really strip back. Look, to be honest with you, like, it was not the start of this week, but the start of last week. I had a really nice weekend filled with, again, like a friend's birthday event and time with Abby, nice gym session, and then another day off gym. But I woke up on the Monday and felt extremely agitated, like I'd suddenly been hit by a ton of realization. I was tired. I went to the gym, extremely agitated. It was busy. I couldn't focus myself. And then I left the gym and I started driving home, and I just had a moment of clarity where I was, and I think one of my best mates said to me, these are the times where you actually have to listen to basically yourself, the words that come out the head. And I was in the car driving home, no music, silent, talking to myself, getting emotional, relaying old, past memories, past trauma, trying to question basically why I am the way I am today. And I got home, sat in the car for 10 minutes, tearing up, went in, spoke to my mum, and then I just burst out crying. And I haven't done that in years. And I mean, the last time I cried like that was probably similar to when my dad passed away in 2021, because it felt like I had almost like reached a bit of rock bottom where I haven't been in a while. The last time I felt almost like this confused about myself and purpose, my identity, was, not like that, but it was around when Dad passed away. And then I started having, swarms of, or waves of anxiety and panic attacks for, the following year. And I couldn't get over that for a long time. And now, I managed to put a lot of that to bed. A year prior to Dad passing, I had counselling across 9 sessions, and that was the time where a lot of other thoughts come to light. I started to realise a bit more about who I was, and again, a lot of tearful sessions, a lot of realisations. So I haven't actually been through. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this type of like realisation with me comes in waves, and I just got hit on that Monday with all of this emotion, all of this realisation, and I was like, I'm not all right. That whole week, it took me a while to get out of it. I had a lot of emotionally fueled sessions, good conversations with important people, and I put in place boundaries straight away. I actually did. And I was like, do you know what? It's now time to start doing things I want to do, start doing things without question, start caring less about others' opinions. And it all sounds like pretty like, oh, we heard all this before. It's like, no, but I just don't do that. So I actually am doing that now. I'm welcoming tough conversations if they come. I couldn't care less now. And I'm welcoming the conversations I'm going to have when I go to therapy. I know they're going to be tough as well. I want to do some searching. I want to do some learning and realization. I want to learn about myself. I want to do this and share it and go on this journey with yourselves as well. And hopefully I can reach out to other people that have been through something similar, where they have this realization about themselves that they're not okay and they need to do some more healing. So that's where I've been. And that's the situation this year. That's the outlook. Don't get me wrong, this year so far has been great for many reasons. And this is it. I said to the therapist when I reached out to her, I said, life is great on the surface, work's very good. My career outside of coaching and training is very good. I've got a great work pattern. I work 4 days a week. I've alleviated a day solely for coaching. My Fridays are my coaching day, my work day. I have my boys checking in on Fridays. I've got 5 clients now, I've launched Jake James Coaching as a brand now, an actual business. That was a big one for me. So that was huge this year to be able to launch that and be official with that, take on a fifth individual. I've got a bunch of, it's going to be a bunch of transformations to be able to put out soon. I've got a training partner who pushes me and I push him. Some seriously good best friends, lots of trips and new experiences coming up, thinking of moving out again, like families relatively well and healthy. It's life is good. I'm doing my own shit. I'm working as well. Like I've got a great partner. Everything is good, but it's not always those things that are enough. Sometimes you need to go right back to the drawing board and say like, oh, actually, I've basically avoided everything. I've basically avoided dealing with the tough shit, which is, am I okay? Am I doing enough for myself? Am I actually looking at myself and saying, do we need to work on ourselves, Jake? Do we need to work on ourselves, Jake? Do we need to put some time into ourselves? And I've been avoiding that question for a long time, and I think now is time. I've been hit with that whole like identity crisis, not knowing who I am, and thinking that I've been a bit of an actor all my life, and now I'm stripping it back. I am putting boundaries in place. If people don't like them, that's fine. It is what it is. I am fully aware that there will be some people that don't like me, and I accept that. Fair enough. If you gave me a bit of time, I'm sure I could change your mind. I'm fully aware that I've been avoiding tough conversations and I'm not going to anymore. I am aware that I'm a people pleaser at heart and I need to rein that in a bit. I need to please myself first. I need to look after myself, fill my own cup and worry less about others over to the detriment of myself. I need to make sure that I am healthy, well, happy and fulfilled before I can actually be that person for other people. All right. And I need to stop acting. I need to allow myself to be the true me. I need to stop pretending to be this overconfident, out there individual. I am a bit of an introvert at heart. I like being at home. I'm a homebody. I'm a very easily pleased man. I like watching films. I like eating food. I like walking. I like drinking black coffee. I'm not just because I'm a bodybuilder, but genuinely, like my idea of a perfect day is probably early wake, get out for a nice walk, come back, have a coffee, go and train, finish the day with maybe going and watching a film at the cinema and having some shit food. That's like a perfect day for me. So yeah, maybe that's a bit of a boring day, but I am a bit of an introvert. I like being at home. I like being quiet. I don't really like going out. I don't like alcohol. I don't drink. Again, like these are things that I need to just accept now. I don't like, and I shouldn't be ashamed about saying this, and I'm gonna start doing more of the things I like. Start, basically pouring myself into things I want to do, the situations I want to do. Go and do go to the places I want to go, and say no to things. I'm starting to do that more now. Just say no when I want to, and whatever first comes to heart, commit to it. Write the message. Say the thing that comes out. If it upsets people, it is what it is. I'll have the conversation after, or maybe that's a representation of them. So that's where I'm at the minute. As you can see, it's a lot of realization this year. 2026 has been so far a year of realizing I'm not okay. I need to do things about that. I need to do some work on myself so I can be that person for other people. I can be the spotter. I can continue to do these and make sure that I am that man that spots others, not just inside the gym, but outside of the gym floor. And the podcast is my means of doing that. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. I spoke to Abby over the last weekend and was like, I need to do it. I want to do it now. I'm ready. I'm in the headspace to do this. And I'm glad to be back. Like the spotter's back. I am back. I'm here. I'm healthy. I just have had some shit on. And who doesn't? Everyone has shit going on, like I wanted to get this out there and be truthful and get the first one out, get the new year finally up and running. And be honest with you, I'm going to delve into the therapy side of things. I'm going to go on that journey for myself, learn a bit more about myself, and I'm going to be open and honest with you if there are things that come to light. and I will talk about that. There are so much more I still want to talk about my past and, sort of get it out there in the hope that it helps others and provides that comfort that, you're not alone. The things that you go through, other people go through as well. And I want to be that guy that can help you. But I need to help myself as well. And I've realized that. So a bit more learning this year, a bit more selfishness. I think it'll be a good thing. But yeah, podcast plans this year. I want to do a couple more specials. So I thought I'd delve into this now. Let's get into a bit more of like what I've got planned for the year. Nothing concrete. I'm going to make sure it'll probably be most of them filmed out of this room again for at least this year. The ultimate goal is hopefully me and Abs can move out and then get like a bit of a, a home-built podcast studio at some point, and an office. I'd like a garage so I can build a garage gym as well. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? So that'd be the plan, hopefully. And in terms of guests, swarm of guests I'd like to get on, but very much gradual, not just piling them in for the sake of it. These are very much, again, this year going to be self-driven conversations every 2 to 3 weeks max, and making sure that I'm doing, getting the conversations out that I want to have, talking about what I want to talk about, So the next one really is going to be talking about the big jump I took this year, the big leap, finally announcing my coaching, like what I want to get out of life and how I want to help other people see the gym, see fitness, see health and fitness, see moving, see pouring themselves into weight training, see what it can do for them and see how much enjoyment they can get out of it. That was a big one for me. Big milestone for me. And I set myself a target of getting up to 10 clients by the end of the year. I'm at 5 now. Maybe a good target. Maybe I'm underballing it or lowballing it. So I guess, we'll see. But I don't want to just take people on for the sake of it. I want people to come to me organically. I will market, but I want to make sure that it's I'm that person to get you where you want to be. And it's not just going to be an in and out of door situation. I want to make sure we create a relationship, a long lasting relationship, and, create habits, routine, and solidified processes that, are sustainable for life. Really proud of the people I've got on my team at the minute. And they honestly, they've been smashing it. And it's been a pleasure working with them so far. And I want to do it for more of you. So the next episode is going to be talking about that. And then following that, it'll be very much a case of, going on this therapy journey with you as well to talk about my journey, what I learned about myself. And hopefully it brings a lot of subjects to life that, everyone else is going through. But please reach out to me. Let me know if anyone's had some, similar situations where they've realized a few things about themselves and actually they need to do a bit more healing, self-learning, self-work. What's your therapy, situation been like? Have you had therapy? Have you had experiences with it that you could tell me about? Like, reach out to me, DM me. And again, like I've always said, this podcast is for the people, and I want to be the one that has these conversations with people. I had some great conversations last year, and if you feel compelled to get on here and talk about the things that you've been through, anything that you think that could help other people going through struggles in their life, or just providing a bit of comfort, please do reach out to me. I'd love to have you on, whether that's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 40, an hour, hour and a half. Like, I'd love to. And we can get it sorted out. So reach out to me on Instagram, and we'll get something sorted. But it's so good to be back. I feel a massive weight off my shoulders doing this, and I feel happy about just being open and honest again. And I'm welcoming this new Jake. I am really happy that I've realized this now, and I am going to ensure that I stick by what I'm saying, what I've said in this, and what people around me have heard me say. Boundaries are not getting broken now or pushed. I'm sticking by things. I am going to stick to being this new person. And basically just watch out, anyone. In some ways, watch out. Maybe people won't realize that I've changed, but I'm going to do so. I think I need to for myself, to create a healthy, better version of myself and for other people around me. So got to be true to the heart, So thank you very much for listening. It's the first one of 2026. The Spotter is back, well and truly back. Plenty of episodes coming, plenty of specials coming. And I'm gonna say on this one, like I saw, you know what? I'm in a cut at the minute. After my cut, I want to do a couple of like challenges, food challenges as well. maybe we'll do some like wacky challenges for charity as well, like where I'll just try and do something. But I'd like to do a lot of things to raise some money for Mind, the Encephalitis Society, Macmillan's Cancer Support. Those sorts of charities are very, very close to heart. Obviously, if you listened about, Mum's journey with me, you'll know about the Macmillan, and you basically all of them are relevant for my mum's situation and myself. And if you've got any like wacky challenge ideas that I can do on camera, and we do a special episode of The Spotter where it's myself and Abby, myself and my mum, that'd be quite cool. Or me, recording something, going out and doing a challenge, an eating challenge, or maybe a physical challenge if you want to see me doing something horrendous when I'm on my bulk after I finish this cut. Let me know. I'll put a poll box up and we can see what we can get going, all right? All for good causes. So yeah, here's to the new season of The Spotter. Plenty more to come. Thank you for listening, and please don't be a stranger. If you need to reach out to me, please do. All right, look forward to the next one, and I'll see you soon.